The St. Louis Cardinals come into Labor Day with one of the best records in baseball, and manager Tony La Russa has his team firing on all cylinders. Today in Milwaukee, he'll send his co-ace to the mound. That's Chris Carpenter. He's had a remarkable comeback to the big leagues, once again healthy and proving that he's among the elite in baseball. This afternoon, he'll try to add to his resume for a potential Cy Young Award in 2009. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. Game 1 next on Fox Sports Midwest. Gorgeous afternoon here in Milwaukee, and the brats on the grill. Tailgating just outside Miller Park where the roof is open, and it's Labor Day 2009. The Cardinals and the Brewers, Game 1 this afternoon of their 3-game series. That's Al. I'm Dan. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. The pitching lined up for this series for the Cardinals, and 3 of the best going for St. Louis.
Absolutely. Wainwright will get the final game of the series. He's the National League leader in wins and also amongst the leaders in ERA. Then you have John Smoltz. He's only had one bad outing. That was at the expense of Milwaukee last week in St. Louis. And then Carpenter, today's starter, he has the best ERA in the National League. Carpenter, he's looking for his 11th consecutive victory, and the last time he faced Milwaukee here, he was outstanding. He went 8 shutout innings, only 2 hits allowed, and the Cardinals eventually lost in 10 innings, 1-0.
So we're looking forward to this one as Chris Carpenter gets the start for St. Louis. Right-hander Dave Bush for Milwaukee. 2 of the game's best sluggers, Fielder and Pujols. Brewers, Cardinals, Game 1 next. Many Cardinal fans here this afternoon, and baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. By Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. By Auto Tire, for the lowest prices in town, we shop the competitors so you don't have to. By Chevy, see your Mid-America Chevy dealers or shop and compare at stlchevy.com. And by the State of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Tailgating outside of Miller Park where the roof is open, and here in Milwaukee it's an absolutely perfect day for baseball. The Cardinals with a record of 81-57, and here's a look at Tony La Russa's lineup. Skip Schumacher, Rick Ankiel, and Albert Pujols here in the first. Then Matt Holliday, Ryan Ludwig, and Troy Gloss. Gloss over at third base, Molina, Brendan Ryan, and the pitcher Chris Carpenter. And the Cardinals will face Dave Bush. We just saw him a week ago, and he's our Marshall Wireless starter.
We saw Bush, and he really got roughed up by the Cardinals. He is 0-6 with an ERA at 10.5 in his last 8 starts. He began the season 3-0. He did stay about 2 months on the disabled list. He had a micro tear in his right tricep muscle after he was hit by a line drive. And this would be his 3rd start, but they were so concerned after the last one. They had the doctor examine him, said, hey, it's just part of the healing process. Go get him.
The defense behind Bush this afternoon, presented by Auto Tire. And not making a start, Ryan Braun today. Prince Fielder was their hero. He's at first base and had the walk-off home run yesterday. Dave Bush and Jason Kendall, the battery. Brewers defense presented by Auto Tire. The Brewers yesterday turned the 5th triple play in franchise history, went 5-4-3, and they were telling us it was probably the best defensive game for both sides, San Francisco and Milwaukee yesterday, that they had played all year.
Yeah, Jason Kendall made a great play, and hey, it's that time, Domino's time.
Domino's first pitch of the game, and Skip Schumacher, who's hitting .299 up there hacking and hits it in the seats. Now here you are in the final month of this regular season. And of course, this team is headed to postseason play, the Cardinals. But a guy like Skip Schumacher, you know, he's thinking about that 300 mark. He's at .299. Big sweeping breaking ball there.
And Skip has one of his favorite targets out there on the mound against Dave Bush. Skip is 5 for 11. And many of the Cardinal hitters have very big gory numbers against Bush. So hopefully that'll continue.
Brewers with a walk-off win yesterday, and one of the most exuberant celebrations we've seen maybe in baseball history. That's pulled foul. It's not only being talked about here locally, whether some fans liked it or not, but also on a national level as to whether or not you should celebrate in the manner in which they did in beating San Francisco yesterday. 2-2.
Old school versus new school. And unfortunately for people like myself and the old schoolers, it's not going to change.
Not going to change, and it was a choreographed celebration by Milwaukee. Broken bat and a fly ball hit into right. Jody Garrett is there to put it away for the first out. And it brings in Rick Ankiel, who homered yesterday, but unfortunately for the Cardinals, they could not hold on to the win against Pittsburgh. Ankiel, good numbers against Busch. He's 5 for 11.
Yeah, Rick, and company beat up on Busch. He only lasted 3 1/3, allowed 11 hits, ties a career high, and also 8 earned runs, which ties a career high allowed. So obviously he'd like to atone for that, and usually when you make back-to-back starts against someone, it really benefits the hitters.
0-1 pitch. 0-2. The Brewers have had a real disappointing year after making it to postseason play last year. First time in 25 years. They have a record of 66-70. Tied for third place in the Central and 14 games out.
Kind of reminds me of Hall of Fame pitcher Don Sutton. Said you never want to be a 20-game winner. You always want to win around 18, 19, because then they always talk about you as the potential to be 20-game winner. Once you win 20, they expect it. And same thing like the Brewers. Their fans got teased with their postseason appearance last year. Now they expect them to win. And so you can only be disappointed when you're 4 games under 500.
2008 wild card, and then they were beaten by the Phillies. And Keel hits it out to deep right center field. Patterson on the move, makes the catch on the run. Mike Cameron is on the bench today. Ryan Braun on the bench, and a nice play there by Corey Patterson.
That's a hanging off-speed pitch, and Rick got it right off the end of the bat. Now the first 2 balls have been put in air, and that is not a good sign for Busch, because this ballpark, particularly when the roof is open, the panels are open, the outfield, the ball travels extremely well in this park.
Here's Pujols, who's hitting .324. .44 home runs. Another dramatic home run Saturday night. 118 RBIs. And he pulls it foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Got a couple of day games in this series. This one obviously, and on the getaway day, Wednesday, that will be a day game, and the Cardinals then will have an off day Thursday. Schedule very favorable for the Cardinals down the stretch. Little check swing, watch out. Think about what you just said, Al. The roof is open, the paneling is open. I mean, when you were just coming into baseball, you weren't thinking about paneling or roofs.
No. We were not thinking about that, and also you're thinking about Milwaukee in September. You figured frigid weather.
That's a base hit up the middle, just past Felipe Lopez, and I'm not sure if he wasn't shielded a little bit by Dave Busch. So look at those two, an MVP showdown between Pujols and Fielder. And the National League leaders with their ranks and where they're at, and both these guys have had tremendous seasons here in 09.
I don't think there's any doubt that Albert is favored in the MVP balloting, and one thing Albert would like to do, the only thing he needs to pass Fielder in, is RBIs. Fielder leads the National League, Albert's second, and what is he, within 4 or 5? He's within 5 RBIs of tying Fielder.
Here's Matt Holliday, left fielder today for the Cardinals. A little breaking ball and a strike. His career batting average against Milwaukee is at .408, 40 for 98, and he was 7 for 12 in last week's series against the Brew Crew. That .408 mark, second highest by any player against Milwaukee. Hanley Ramirez at .413. Somebody was saying the other day, one of the national writers, that there's those numbers that Holiday's put up, that this has turned out to be one of the great midseason pickups statistically all time in baseball. It's tough to argue with that right now, the way he's gone.
He's hit .384, 11 home runs, 38 RBIs. Just playing with the Cardinals. That's in 151 at bats. So no argument there.
No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, and Pujols the runner at first. And since Matt Holliday arrived on July 24th, the Cardinals, in every series they played in, they have won game 1.
It's also they had the best record in baseball since his acquisition, and that helps. You know, and I think there's nothing that Matt Holliday can say that hasn't been a wonderful experience wearing the Cardinal uniform. The only thing we are hoping for is that he will say he wants to wear it a lot longer.
Let's hope so.
Can you imagine Holliday and Pujols together year after year? With that combination, with the excitement that would generate for Cardinal fans?
You see the most consecutive series winning that first game, 14. That's since 1900. The Cardinals currently have done that now 14 times. Down the right field line, slicing it out of play. And we talked about it last week. You have Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder, a great 1-2 punch, but most people believe that Albert is the best player in the game, and then you mix him in with Matt Holliday. Tremendous.
And then I think if you put in Ludwig, who's on deck, you know, you can make a case that that's the strongest trio.
And Ludwig is under the Cardinals' control for the next couple of seasons. Pulled sharply to third. Casey McGee makes the play, and the Cardinals strand Albert. Chris Carpenter to the mound when we come back. Just a beautiful day, Labor Day 2009. The Cardinals and the Brewers here in game 1. And let's take a look at this Milwaukee lineup. Corey Patterson, Frank Catalanato, and Felipe Lopez, followed by Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, and Jody Garrett, Jason Kendall, then Escobar, their fine shortstop, and Dave Bush. Chris Carpenter, our starter today for the Cardinals. Against the Central this year, he has just been remarkable with 12 starts and 9-0 against the Central, and it's been a long time since he's lost a game. His numbers presented by Marshall Wireless, 15-3.
15-3, best winning percentage in the National League, best ERA in the National League. He has the second best road record, best daytime ERA in the National League. He's only allowed 7 home runs, just 28 total walks this year, and he's got a 10-game winning streak. How about that?
Corey Patterson is in the leadoff spot. He's 10 for 24 against Carpenter. You talked about that start earlier this year. He went 8 innings in late May. Game the Cardinals eventually would lose. And his other start against Milwaukee was last week.
Now, he wasn't as sharp last week as we've seen him, but still good enough to win when he doesn't have his best stuff. In that start here in Milwaukee, he allowed only 2 hits, and the first came in the top of the 7th.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Carpenter to start the game. Speaking of last week, the Cardinals were able to get to Dave Bush. They pounded him, chased him early, and that was that bases loaded double down the right field line. There was 6 runs in the second inning that he gave up. And Carpenter, as you mentioned, wasn't overly sharp, but good enough to get the win. 6 innings and 8 hits allowed.
He looks like a little different pitcher. Tony and Dave Duncan have some pretty good strategy going for the rest of the way with their starters. And with the benefit of some off days, they can do a lot of different things.
That's our Toyota key to the game, and that's this season against the Central. Carpenter 9-0. But what are some of those things that you can do?
Well, I think the fact that they have off days, they're not going to push these guys. After this series, they're going to be very conservative with them. And you'll see, I think Lowe should get a start on Saturday, kind of spell them, push them back a little bit, keep them fresh, keep them sharp, but get them ready for postseason.
It's really got to be a fine line, too, for Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa, because here these guys have been doing this for 5 months of the regular season, and then they've been on that 5-day pattern in spring training. So your creature's a habit.
Sure.
And they want to go deep into games if they're pitching well. So you have to walk that fine line to figure out exactly how deep you should go and how much these guys should pitch down the stretch.
And, you know, not because Franklin, you know, blew a save yesterday and got the loss. Because he's been pitching an awful lot lately and throwing a lot of pitches, he probably, there's a good chance he will not even pitch in this series. You're really going to have 2 days off, and because then you have the day game on Wednesday, he may not pitch in the series at all. And just try and keep those guys fresh. But that also creates opportunities for somebody else late in this ball game. Mott's not available. You're going to be very conservative with your 2 left-handers. You know, so it's the best formula, as Tony said, is the offense to score a bunch of runs.
Take it a little bit high. Felipe Lopez, the season hitting .308. Good numbers against Carpenter, 7 for 22. And he is the only hitter in this lineup above 300. And he draws a 2-out walk. I don't think that you should be overly concerned with Franklin.
No.
And the thing is, though, like you said, if he has his rest, and we've talked about that since he's arrived in St. Louis, when he has rest, Al, he's tremendous.
Yeah, and what it is the last few times out, he has been so economical that you aren't used to seeing him throw 20, 30 pitches. And that's happened a few times, and pitching back-to-back games. And getting back on track.
Pitch up and away, and you pointed this out in the last game that Carpenter pitched in. It's been 2 years since he has pitched, and now you're getting deep into the season. It's another guy that you want to be very, very cautious with. 1-0 pitch to Fielder. Gets the ground ball, and Albert will take it himself. Steps on the bag. Both teams strand a runner in the first. Ryan Ludwig leads it off when we come back. Well, we said hello to a number of Cardinal fans at the team hotel, and many have made the trek this Monday afternoon to Miller Park here in Milwaukee. No score after 1 inning of play, and here's Ryan Ludwig, the right fielder today. 4 for 9 against Dave Bush on the season with 20 home runs, and he's driven in 87. You know he would love to get to that century mark in RBIs before the season is through. First pitch to him. Taken low and away. Still waiting for some of those September call-ups for the Cardinals. It'll probably be at least a week before the Cardinals get those reinforcements from the minor leagues. The Memphis Redbirds wrapped up the American North Division title in the PCL as they won a doubleheader from Oklahoma City on Saturday night.
Did you see what David Freese did in that St. Louis and did? He had 6 RBIs in that doubleheader.
Would assume he might be one of those call-ups.
I would hope so, as he's finally healthy after a January automobile accident, injured his ankle, had to have some surgery, and finally swinging the bat well.
Ludwig hits it a mile high. Jason Kendall, foul territory, makes the catch. He made a brilliant play yesterday on a pop-up. One of the Giants was trying to sacrifice, and he made a diving catch behind home plate. And we noted a year ago how well he was throwing, as he was getting many base stealers a year ago and well above his career average.
Let's back down, or say it's at his career average again. And Gloss would like to find his career average, as he's coming back from a wasted year with the shoulder surgery, just 1 for 12.
And Troy at third base today.
The third consecutive game that he is playing. First base on Saturday, and then third base yesterday, and again today.
Mark DeRosa was on the pregame show, and that's a base hit into left center field. And he was on with Pat Paris. He had a number of interesting topics that he covered, but one of those is that DeRosa apologized to the Cardinal fans. He said, "You just haven't really seen me play at my best." He said, "I apologize because I'm banged up right now."
So you get tired of hearing the guys kind of kid about it, but we all know what a great player he is. And the only thing we're hopeful is we can see that in postseason.
And let's bring in Pat Parrish. You see the numbers on Yadier Molina. And Pat, also one of the things that he talked about was a sore back, a sore neck, and also his wrist, which he received a shot for, didn't he, a couple of days ago?
Yeah, they went ahead and took the opportunity to give him the cortisone shot. They talked about it over the last week. If they had an opportunity, they would. And I think with the back flaring up a little bit, they knew that he would have a couple of days to have that shot work. And so he did. And he says he's ready to go, and he can't wait to get back in there. He feels terrible for Cardinal fans not to be contributing. And he says he's the best cheerleader and all the high fives in the world to make him feel part of the team as Yadi gets hit there. But that he really, really wants to contribute to this winning ball club that's on its way to postseason, it looks like.
And Pat, one of the things that was everybody talking about here at the ballpark was the celebration by the Brewers and how they went about it yesterday. And you asked him a couple of questions about that. How did the team, the Cardinals, feel about that celebration?
Well, I think diplomatically they're going to say they understand both sides of the situation, but at the same time I think they were frustrated with it. I think they were, like a lot of us, a little disappointed that that's the way baseball seems to be headed, a little more of that football mentality. He talked about it's almost like a walk-off is like a touchdown in the NFL, and there's got to be some kind of a celebration, and not many like the way the Brewers celebrated yesterday.
Thank you, Pat. And Al, I thought one of the great comments that he made was he talked about chemistry. Mark DeRosa did, and he said it's overrated unless you have it. He said we always hear chemistry, but it's overrated unless you have it. And the guys that they brought in have just meshed so quickly with the guys that were already here.
If you can have talent wins, but if you can have talent and chemistry on top of it, it's almost unstoppable. And that's what the Cardinals have in many ways. They have very good, talented players, really character individuals, and guys that have a pride in playing this game the right way, and in sense of the history. And that's what I think that some of these celebrations today, and as I said, they're not going to stop, but it is sort of disrespectful to players that played the game in the past.
1-1 on Brendan Ryan with the pitcher Carpenter on deck. Runners at first and second. 1-2 on the Cardinal shortstop. Brendan Ryan is 1 for 3 in his career against Bush. Umpires today: Dan Iasonia, Jerry Davis, the crew chief Larry Vanover, and Sam Holbrook. And the shadows already coming into play here this afternoon. Very tough on a hitter. Slowly hit left side as pitcher starts out in the sun. You got a guy throwing 90 to 92 miles an hour, and all of a sudden at the very end it's in the shadows. It's not easy.
Sometimes, not necessarily this ballpark, but sometimes it'll go in and out of the sun to shade, back to sun. It's kind of hard to take the roof off, when you have nice weather here.
These fans know all about it. They want to make sure that it's open. Here's a ground ball, slowly hit to second, out there, and no play at first. Running hard was Molina, taking out the shortstop. Today that's Escobar. And it brings in Carpenter with runners at first and third and 2 outs.
Watch Molina go after the young shortstop, but a bad throw from Felipe, so it just made it a lot easier. And Escobar showing some maturity right there and aware of the situation by holding on to it, and immediately looked to third to see if he can get the lead runner Gloss.
Here's Carpenter. 160 hitter this year. And he pops it up on the first pitch. Going out, Escobar. The shortstop calls for it. He's got it. The Cardinals have stranded 3 in the first 2 innings. No score. Bottom of the second, no score here at Miller Park. Glad you're with us. Stan and Al and Pat Paris. And the Tour of Missouri cycling race kicks off today in St. Louis and will race through Missouri. Fox Sports Midwest will have highlights and results tonight and every night of the race on the Tour of Missouri Highlight Show. And you can catch the Tour of Missouri Highlight Show tonight, 10:30 on Fox Sports Midwest.
It's really become a big thing.
Sure has.
Some of the top cyclists in the world, right?
And I was, yes. Be a future Lance Armstrong in the group. I flew home. I had a football game over the weekend, and you wouldn't believe all the cyclists I saw going through the airport. They were all over the place. Here's Casey McGee, and what a series he had. And that would be illegal in the Tour of Missouri.
Why?
2 wheels, but you need a pedal.
You know what I say? You know, it's not cheating until you're caught.
Well, that's nice, Al. For all our young viewers out there. 2 balls and a strike.
At this level.
Yes. Ooh, good pitch and a check swing and a strike. 2-2. McGee 2 for 5 against Carpenter. He had what, 9 RBIs last week against the Cardinals?
He really did. And however they pitched him last week, do the opposite, as he really has put his name in the running for Rookie of the Year.
Also made a really good play in the 3rd game of the series over at third base. Rounds it to short. Brendan Ryan throws on the run and makes the play. He makes it look easy. Very sharp out there at shortstop. And McGee retired.
Sometimes you get the feeling that Brendan would just as soon throw off balance, where he can really sling the ball, where he has unbelievable control. You know, he will tell you he prefers to throw it that way. It's not the way you teach, but until he starts throwing errant throws, you know, you let him do his thing.
And the times that we've seen the errant throws, this has popped up. Brendan under it off the bat of Jody Garrett. It's been when he's had a hard hit ball to him and then can settle and really take his time. And sometimes he'll short hop Pujols on those throws.
Right, and when he really has to make the off balance throw and really not think about things is usually when he makes the spectacular and the very accurate throw.
Brings in Kendall, 1 for 12 against Carpenter. They've got a couple of prospects that they like at their catcher spot, so Kendall, a free agent at the end of the year, be curious to see if he comes back here. He wants to remain in Milwaukee.
It could be very valuable as a backup. And, you know, there's no guarantees those hot prospects are going to come up here and be able to hold down the job. And you can only play one at a time. So there is a case to be made.
Tails in there for a strike. Great movement on that pitch by Carpenter.
I just love watching Carpenter compete.
Well, he's got himself on the first base side of the rubber, and he changed a few years ago at the advice of Dave Duncan. And that pitch right there, the first 2 to Kendall, kind of backdoors on a right-hander, and it comes at the knees of a left-hander. Look at that, just tying him up with that pitch. Just nasty. Strikes out Kendall, and he's got 2 on the afternoon. No score, and let's go back to the last strikeout. It's our pitch by pitch, brought to you by Chevrolet.
Okay, this is the 0-2 pitch to Kendall. And right there, you know, a start outside, it comes back in. But now he's going to go the 1-2 pitch, sets up inside, and look at how that just barrels inside, locking him up. But I want to go back to what you said, that Dave Duncan moved him to the first base side of the rubber. In my mind, he would do that because Carpenter's never had a problem throwing inside. So what you do, but when when you throw that, when you try to do the backdoor pitch, you would leave it over the middle of the plate. So by moving to the first base side, when you do the backdoor pitch, like it was on the 0-2 pitch, then it hits the corner or it hits away and stays out of the middle of the plate.
We get asked all the time, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike here on Schumacher. What is it about Dave Duncan that has made him so successful over the years? And he's coached now numerous Cy Young Award winners. He's taken guys that have struggled in their careers and helped turn them around. Great example of that is look at Pinheiro. I mean, Pinheiro was in the minor leagues with the Boston Red Sox, and now he's due for a big payday this offseason. You know, what do you think, if you could put your finger on one thing, what is it about him that has made him so successful?
It's not the sense of the mechanics. That isn't his forte.
Ground ball to first, and fielder will take it.
What he can do is he will take, and I think it's a big part of what you just said. It's taking guys that have had some level of success or have been pitching at the major league level. They lose a little confidence. They're on kind of the downside. And then he rebuilds them mentally. But it's usually how he does it. Instead of a guy really searching for something, wants to learn a new pitch. What he usually does is he'll take those guys and say, look, you've got an excellent pitch, but you've used it as your second or third pitch. Pinheiro, it's a sinker. You want to use the sinker. And what he does is gets the guy to believe in what his pitch is. Then he'll sit there and reinforces it, by giving him the ball every fifth day. But most importantly, then he outlines a scouting report or a way to retire each hitter. And if the guy is talented enough to follow that pattern, then he becomes a winner.
1 ball, 1 strike. I would imagine one of the frustrations in his career is this guy at the plate, Rick Ankiel, and what happened with him on the mound. And trying to figure that out. There's a drive into right center field. I'm just guessing that because they've had so much success with guys that have struggled at times before.
Well, his critics will say he really has not, he hasn't achieved the same level of expertise with younger pitchers. It's always been with the veterans. Guys like Supine, guys like Looper. You can go back to Andy Bennis, Woody Williams. Forget about, Dave Stewart and Eckersley, guys like that. But, it's the young pitchers, I think in some cases, whether it's right or wrong, and you can't argue, he's the longest tenured pitching coach in Major League history. But sometimes a young pitcher is stubborn. He doesn't want to take his advice readily. He said, well, wait a minute, I haven't failed. And Dave is saying, well, you're going to fail at this level unless you do it this way. And so I think something more philosophical, but there's no doubt that he has resurrected and made careers of so many pitchers. And as Tony says, he's the best pitching coach in baseball.
You can see Pujols there was not happy. He's shaking his head as he was looking down at Jose Oquendo, the Cardinal third base coach. Very short lead at first by Ricky Ankiel. The 0-1 to Albert on its way. A drive into deep right field. Garrett is back, and on the track making the catch. And Pujols 1 for 2. Visit the official online shop of the Cardinals at stlcardinals.com for the largest selection of authentic postseason caps, t-shirts, jerseys, and more. So you can get your playoff gear at stlcardinals.com. Here's Holiday. You mentioned the mechanics. A guy that's been tremendous with the mechanics part of it is out in the bullpen, and Marty Mason.
Well, Marty Mason, is, one is he was a pitcher, and Marty never got to the major leagues. But I've had, Bob Schaefer, who he pitched for in the minor leagues, told me that today Marty Mason would have made a nice career in the big leagues. As he never, he was a good minor league pitcher, but never got the shot. But his pitching is so watered down today. He feels like Marty, if he was pitching today, would have gotten to the major leagues and been successful. And even if you go when Dave Duncan first came here, and Rick Honeycutt was on his staff, many ways that Dave Duncan said, Rick, you helped me, and now you watch how all the starters go down and they work with all the starters. He's
at a shallow right near the line.
He doesn't have that ego where he's afraid to let somebody else help out.
Garrett puts it away. Escobar, the 8th place hitter, is coming up when we come back. Bottom of the third rolls in, and there's no score. This season, both Mizzou non-conference games from Perot be available on pay-per-view next Saturday, September 12th. Tigers and Bowling Green. Then on the 19th, they'll play Furman. $29.95 for the pay-per-view. Brendan Ryan, 1 pitch and 1 out. Escobar retired. You can access your digital program guide or call your local cable, satellite, or fiber optic provider to order. Again, that's $29.95 this Saturday and the following Saturday. So Escobar retired, and it brings in Dave Bush.
get the feeling that Dave Bush is flirting with danger, throwing so many fly balls. Yeah, we talk about this ballpark can be a hitter's ballpark. Few Cardinal hitters have gotten underneath a few of his pitches, but
0-2. Cardinals caught a break last week, and again in this series, no Yovani Gallardo, who's really been their ace this year.
And they're going to really monitor his see you later.
That's the third strikeout. Stay warm and cozy during cool Cardinals games and in the offseason with a Cardinals fleece blanket, courtesy of AT&T. It's available to 25,000 fans, ages 16 and older. And that'll be this Friday. Atlanta in town, September 11th. And you can purchase your tickets at stlcardinals.com. That's fleece blanket night, courtesy of AT&T. Carpenter's not messing around one bit. He looks sharp today.
That's what you love about him. When a guy sets the pace and hitters allow him to dictate the pace of the game, he's in control.
Fields his position and underhands to Albert. Patterson retired in 0 for 2. Ludwig leads it off when we come back. This date in baseball history brought to you by Schnucks. Who could forget this? Hard-hitting Mark Whiten. 4 home runs, which ties Jim Bottomley's record of 12 RBIs in one game. What a blast that was, and what a blast this is. Famous Jack Buck call.
You know, you look at that crowd, there was nobody there. It was the second game of a doubleheader, and it finished with probably less than 2,000 people in the stands. But a memorable night, and in many ways you kind of wonder if it kind of accelerated Mark Whiten's exit from the game as he tried to duplicate that night from there on, and just, you know, got home run happy. And when you do that, you try to hit home runs, you can make a lot of outs.
I don't know if you saw this, but the other day the Reds had a doubleheader and the crowds were really down for them too.
That was against the Pirates, and they told me that the first game of that doubleheader, they said somebody, you know, one of the writers counted 800 people.
Is that right?
I think they announced like 11,000.
Exactly, yeah. 800, huh?
800 for the first game. St. Louis Cardinal ushers Mike and Eileen Boyer want to wish fellow usher Mary Merrick a speedy recovery and wish she was here.
Cincinnati, by the way, has won 7 straight. Strikeout of Ludwig. First strikeout for Dave Bush. 6, a serious number. When the Cardinals score 6, you get a 20-ounce coffee, fountain or frozen drink for just $1 the next day at On the Run at Mobile. Win or lose, Cardinals score 6, you score 25-cent drinks at On the Run.
Gary Glass with the sunglasses, and right now it looks like maybe Dave Bush's release point is the only thing that's in the sun.
Glass with the base hit into left center, first time up. Free agent after this year, and I'm sure he's trying to prove to folks around baseball he's healthy enough to play next season. And maybe trying to make a case to be on the postseason roster here with the Cardinals. Little tapper left side, and McGee puts him away.
You're right in both cases. Caleb Boyer from Chicago is attending his first St. Louis Cardinals baseball game.
Yadi Molina hit by pitch back in the second. And Yadi, by the way, of his 5 hits against this starter, 3 have been home runs. He's got 5 home runs on the season. He's driven in 47 and played that Gold Glove caliber defense all season long.
I can't imagine how he's not going to pick up his second Gold Glove.
Saw a shot of Mike Matheny earlier, and he's with us on the trip. And when Mike and Yadi got together, one of the things that Matheny really helped Yadi with was blocking balls. I mean, everybody knew he could catch and throw, but there's Jeff Murphy, who also works with Molina once a week as they work on not only blocking at the plate, and there's Jeff, but also throwing down to second.
And You'll probably have to ask him, but I would have to say Dave Ricketts. The late Dave Ricketts probably was instrumental in Matheny being a Gold Glove winner. And that textbook of blocking balls in the dirt. Now Murphy, has learned that trade from Dave Ricketts, passes it on. But you talk to Mike or you talk to Yachty, and they will tell you that Dave Ricketts was such a special guy.
And Mike has talked about getting into coaching or managing someday, so he's on the road trip. And Yachty hits it into center, but the catch made by Corey Patterson. Catalanato, Lopez, and Prince Fielder coming up. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, and Fox Sports Midwest have joined together to encourage young people not to smoke, because once you start, it's hard to stop. Strike out tobacco so we can all breathe easier. Call the Missouri Tobacco Quit line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Frank Catalanato, the left fielder today. Braun takes a day off and comes against the Cardinals. So Catalanato gets that start, and he's had very good numbers against Carpenter in his career.
8 for 16 coming into action today, and he's 0 for 1. They also say Braun's shoulder is acting up a little bit, so.
In the air out to center, drifting back, but making the catch and keel on the track. As you talked about, the ball carries here, and that looked to be a routine fly, but that just carried all the way to the track in center.
I can see that Rick was playing either awfully shallow, but I'm not saying he drifted back, but I think it just kept on carrying, so he just had to keep on going back, but had plenty of room catching it in front of the warning track.
So 1 out, and here's Felipe Lopez. Walked back in the first in a sharp breaking ball for strike.
Felipe's been outstanding since coming over from Arizona, but really struggling of late. 5 hits in his last 35 at bats, and that was after being named the Brewers Player of the Month for August, where he hit .325.
Oh, 2 pitch to Lopez. In there for a strike. He knew it, and that's number 4 on the day for Carpenter.
It's got to be very tough to see right now if you're standing at home plate trying to hit.
I agree, and it looks like on both sides some of these hitters have been, just really unsure as to whether they should pull the trigger or not. That leads you to believe that they're not getting a real good look.
The lights are on, but really not of any effect, as the shadows have now engulfed the pitcher's mound. Just watching guys, big league hitters, that are not really seeing the ball well. So if you're a pitcher, take advantage of it.
Little check swing, and he did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs and nobody on. Only base runner today was the walk to Lopez back in the first, and Carpenter looks very sharp this afternoon. It seems like every 5th day we say Carpenter looks very sharp. Broken record, which we like to hear.
Yes.
Here's a 1-1 pitch.
And very accurate.
Against the Brewers this season, had a loss in an 8-inning game for Carpenter and no earned runs, and then September 2nd, just a week ago, just about, 3 earned runs and 9 runs of support. There's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball, a nasty one by Carpenter. A little smile there by Prince. That's 5 strikeouts. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. By the Casino Queen Hotel and Casino, home of the loosest slots. And by Taco Bell's new Volcano menu. It's seriously spicy. 5th inning rolls in. Labor Day 2009. The Cardinals and Brewers scoreless. Brendan Ryan, Chris Carpenter, and Skip Schumacher against Dave Bush. Redbirds with 3 base hits. They've stranded 4. And Brendan pops one foul but out of play. Big crowd here at Miller Park and a gorgeous afternoon.
Their attendance has been outstanding this season here in Milwaukee, but with it, much higher expectations. And for the most part, they've been very disappointed. This club, the Brewers, 4 games under 500 team at home.
And they will draw over $3 million for the 2nd consecutive year. But you get into the month of September around these parts and they're thinking Green Bay Packers football, with the Brewers basically out of the race. And some frustrated football fans with a guy that wears number 4 and now doing it in Minnesota. There's a base hit for Brendan Ryan on a hanging breaking ball. Stay warm and cozy during cool Cardinal games and this offseason and hopefully in the postseason. It's available to 25,000 fans courtesy of AT&T, the Fleece Blanket. And that's for folks 16 and older. Get yours this Friday, September 11th, by purchasing tickets at STLCardinals.com.
We would have thought we would need that type of cover here to stay warm.
You were expecting very cool temperatures.
I've been here in the past.
Remember when we used to go and the Brewers were put back in the National League? We go to County Stadium beginning of the season and it was just freezing. You just wondered how these guys played that.
Well, you knew why they were talking about putting a retractable roof if you ever went to Old County Stadium.
And we'll probably experience some of that cold weather right before our first pitch of the regular season next year. It was announced the Cardinals will be at Target Stadium.
Outside.
Outside, which is Target Field, which is the new baseball facility for the Minnesota Twins.
I knew about that and everything, but then I just realized that, yeah, they're outside now.
It's going to be cold.
It'll be nasty.
Carpenter gets the bunt down, a beauty. Kendall only play to go to first, and the sacrifice good. 2-4, and a chance for Schumacher to put the Cardinals on top.
Good bunt right there, but you just wonder, and I'm not going to, Carpenter, I just love everything about him, and he helps himself out there, but just thinking about it, Kendall throws to second base. It's iffy if he can get Brendan Ryan, but he'll always get Carpenter at first. But you might have a chance at the double play.
And out to visit Kendall. Runner at second. They'll go over the signs and also the situation here.
Playing what, 137th game, and guys don't know. With a man on second base, you have to remind people.
One ball and no strikes. Ken Maka in his first season.
Now, a little bit maybe his Escobar hadn't been playing that much, but still he's been playing the game of baseball. But Dan, I've been told by a lot of coaches, especially today, that don't ever assume a player knows.
I think that's right on. Unfortunately, but
yeah,
that is the case. One ball, one strike here on Schumacher. Pickoff play, and Brendan back in there safely. Daylight play here, Al.
Right. Well, watch right there. You see the arm being extended. And if you're on the mound, you'll see the daylight. Once you see daylight between the runner and the infielder, you spin and throw, trying to pick him off.
That's pulled foul. Watch out, Dave McKay. One and two the count. Skip is flied to right and also grounded out to first. Dave McKay had to be quick over there. And with the lefty up, Dave is actually out of the coach's box, which was a no-no and a point of emphasis by Major League Baseball a couple of years ago.
Makes no sense at all.
Well, have fun when Prince Fielder is up and you're standing in that box right there.
And remember, you know, guys are getting a little older. The reflexes are a little slower, but you know his primary function is to watch and help out the runner at second base. And then at the last second, he picks up the fly of the ball coming to the plate.
Base hit into center field. Here comes Brendan Ryan, and they'll hold him up. And Schumacher will take second base as they miss the cut.
Just little fundamentals, isn't it? As Oquendo, one of the rare times that he holds up a runner, but only one out, you got the guys coming up. But the high throw and offline allows Schumacher, after the base hit, to get himself in scoring position. Watch Dave McKay right here. But really, you give all the credit to Schumacher as he's watching the play develop as it comes in, sees the high trajectory, and knows that, you know, he doesn't know that Brendan Ryan's going to be cut off. So if they get him in the rundown, the run automatically scores.
A swing and a miss by Ricky Ankiel, and Brendan Ryan did exactly what you're supposed to do, which is run hard until you're held up, which he did.
And right there, Rick a little over anxious as he swings at a ball out of the strike zone.
1 for 2 today. Albert Pujols on deck.
You know, Rick has become quite a pinch hitter of late. And Tony was almost remarking that he looks even a little more relaxed coming in as a pinch hitter. Got the big home run, what we hope was going to be the game winner yesterday, wasn't to be. Pinch hitting.
And Keel pops it up. Left side. Will it find the seats? McGee over. He's got it. So here's your decision time for Ken Maka. First base open and Pujols digging in. First half of the season, automatic, intentional walk, but now you really have to think about it.
And didn't Maka do that in St. Louis and then Holiday beat him?
That's right.
So he's going to do it again. They're going to intentionally pass him, so it'll be a new single season career mark for Pujols, or maybe he's just setting the defense. I guess that's it.
Either way,
he should be walking him.
You know, I could see it both ways.
Oh, sure.
First pitch to Albert. Taken for a ball inside. But from a pitcher standpoint, if you're Dave Bush, you can't give him anything to hit.
Well, and you don't want to concede anything by just walking him too. So you want to challenge him, but as you said, be smart.
And Pujols hits a rocket down the left field line, but foul.
And that ball was not in the location where Kendall wanted.
A little buzz here in the stadium. That'll get your attention.
If he would have done that with the pitch being up and in where they wanted it, that was one thing. But when he left it out over the plate in an off-speed pitch, Albert way out in front. But look out.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runners at second and third. Pujols out to deep center field. Patterson back. It's over his head and off the wall. 2 runs will score. Albert on his way to second base. A 2-run double. 2-0 Cardinals here in the 5th.
Yeah, and it sounds like a broken record, but terrible fastball command, these players. Kendall once again set up inside. The ball down, but right out over the middle of the plate, and he hits a tee shot. Look where he's set up inside. Look where the location is. So he was lucky he got away with the pitch before, but this just a screamer, and gets out there as quick as can be. 2 more RBIs, and he's at 120 now, chasing. The chase is really on in the RBI race.
And Pujols almost didn't wind up at second base as he had an odd turnaround first and nearly missed the bag. So he's at second base with that double, now with RBIs 119 and 120. Closing in on that top spot.
Fielders at 123.
1-0 pitch to Matt Holliday. Little tapper to short. Escobar charges, throws, makes the play. Albert Pujols with now 120 driven in this year. Touch first. Casey McGee, last series against the Cardinals, 5 for 11, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. Today he's 0 for 1. He's grounded out to short, but he was all over the place offensively and with the glove over at third base. Al,
I see a pitch out over the middle of the plate, and he pounded the ball. And once again, hard to believe that the Chicago Cubs put him on waivers last season, and Milwaukee's thankful.
off the end of the bat, and strike one on Casey McGee. Jody Garrett on deck, and then Jason Kendall. Cardinals lead it thanks to Pujols RBIs, 119-120.
A lot of candidates for Rookie of the Year, and McGee's making a name as last 65 games he's hit all 13 of his home runs.
And you know that the Cardinals will have their rookie Colby Rasmus in that conversation. One of the questions, I guess, for Tony La Russa would be if postseason play started right now, and there's a lot of factors with this, but would Colby be your guy that's primarily going to play center field in the postseason? And he just basically said that he likes Ankiel coming off the bench as a threat because he feels at times he might take a little better AB.
In my mind, I play Rasmus. Now, Rick, when you have a matchup like today, you can't ignore the fact he's hit over 500 against Dave Bush, the Milwaukee starter. So that is an overriding factor, and Colby has not hit Bush well, or I think he's 1 for 3. So I mean, really not enough of a decision. But those are nice problems to have. And Rick Ankiel, if you look at the 2 victories in Pittsburgh, you know, he saved a couple runs with a great catch out in left field, and Saturday night in a 1-run game, he saves that game for Albert to have the heroics. And then yesterday it looked like he was going to be the hero with a pinch hit home run.
It's now 3 in a row for Carpenter and 6 strikeouts on the afternoon. Come watch the Cardinals take on the Braves Saturday, September 12th, and receive an all-star pennant featuring your 09 Cardinals All-Stars, Pujols, Franklin, and Molina, and also manager Tony La Russa. All kids 15 and younger will receive the pennant courtesy of Coke and the Pasta House. For tickets, visit stlcardinals.com. This is slicing down the left field line. Holliday over. He won't get it. The first base hit for Milwaukee off the bat of Jody Garrett.
It took the 7th inning for the first hit off of Carpenter. Last time he pitched against Milwaukee here in Wisconsin, and now they get it here in the 5th. Slicing away, it's going to be slicing away from Holliday too, but he gets it down in the corner. It's a double all over it that doesn't allow them to get more. You ever like the movie Cool Hand Luke? Did you like the movie Cool Hand Luke?
Of course.
We got a very special birthday today. How about happy birthday to Lucas Cool Hand Luke Jackson? He's watching today's game home with his dad. But that was actually the character Lucas Jackson in Cool Hand Luke. And that's Jim Jackson's grandson.
Jim Jackson, the producer engineer for Cardinals baseball on the radio.
Extraordinary.
And as we found out over the years, a mouse pad collector. There's Jim Jackson.
What a nice gentleman he is.
Terrific guy.
And very talented at what he does. Anybody that can get us on the air, radio or TV, has to be talented.
They have patience.
Right.
1-2 the count on Kendall with one out and a runner at second base.
Ball was even hard for Molina to catch. Sometimes an indication of late movement, or as we've talked about a little bit, tough to see at home plate.
2-2 for Garrett, who's at second base. This is his third straight start. Mike Cameron's been out with a tight hamstring. Carpenter doesn't get the call there. You know, on that relay throw, there's always a place for everybody on the field to go, and it wound up going in the glove of the second baseman Schumacher. And Schumacher told me at the beginning of the season, that's pulled and backhanded by Gloss. Takes the hit away and a potential RBI. What a play by the third baseman, Troy Gloss.
That's as good as we've seen Troy in 2 years wearing the Cardinal uniform, and that can't be easy also, because you're fielding the ball. Look, it goes from the shadow into the bright sunlight. You backhand it, it's right over the bag. You're in foul territory. You get up, and I think there's no question his arm is sound if he can make this throw. He was tested in the Pittsburgh series, and then once again here today, and comes up flawless.
I was about to say, for Schumacher on the relays, he said that was one of the hardest things for him to learn. You know, trying to figure it all out where I'm supposed to go. And on that particular play, he was backing up the shortstop, Brendan Ryan, on the relay from Holiday, and then Pujols trails the runner as he goes to second, and even Ludwig was hustling in from right field in case a throw comes to Albert.
Just common sense. I mean, you just watch the flow of the play, and you kind of you figure out where's it going to be, where's the logical pattern of the ball is going to be, and just make sure you're a backup.
Now, going back to the play by Gloss, something I still haven't really understood is why Pujols is backing up instead of stretching.
I don't understand that either, you know, and he looks like he's very awkward and many times gets in the way of the runner, where he was receiving some of those balls at the first base bag instead of, like you say, conventionally you're stretching and reaching out trying to help the throw, where he's kind of backing up and ends up in foul territory.
2-2 the count on Escobar with Dave Bush on deck. That was one of those plays that really looked like he was going to hit the runner, Kendall.
Yes.
Two balls, two strikes, two outs, and a runner at second, and a 2-0 Cardinals lead.
And Dan, we've seen people, you know, get first basemen injure their hand and even break bones by having, you know, a collision where the throw pulls you into the runner, where it's Albert really doing it himself.
A lot of wrist injuries that way we've seen. Oh, and he went. A strikeout of Escobar and a good block by Molina. That's 7 strikeouts this afternoon for Carp. It's time to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. The Rapid Rewind takes us into the top of the 6th. 2-0 Cardinals. And here's Ryan Ludwig to lead it off. Ludwig is 0 for 2 today.
A very good Pittsburgh series, as he was 6 for 13. About the night he had Friday night, 5 for 5, 5 RBIs, pair of home runs.
One more thought on how Pujols is receiving it. The only reason I can think that he would do that is to maybe get himself in a better position to throw in his mind. But you're making it potentially off your back heel and a longer throw as Ludwig is retired.
Yeah, I was going to say, thinking about what you're saying is your momentum would be going backwards, not going forwards. And I talked to Kendall about it, and he said he wasn't quite sure what I was talking about. He was thinking in reference of trying to help out early in the season with ranging further to his right to help out Schumacher, and then maybe getting back to the bag late. But that was not the case that we've seen, particularly with Gloss throwing from third.
Gloss, a fine play and one of the better ones we've seen him make. And Troy hits it down the right field line. And that slices out of play. Remember Gloss last year, anything that was hit to him, he made the play. And we were just so used to seeing Scott Rowland play over at third base with the range and spoiled by that. But Gloss really did a nice job at third base.
And we also remember the 27 home runs and 99 RBIs.
And strike two, 0-2. I'm sure the Cardinals would be intrigued with the idea of adding him as a potential big bat as a pinch hitter in postseason.
Well, there's no doubt about it, but I think he's, and he's got to appreciate that he's getting these playing times to try and get his batting stroke back.
Flies out to center. Stop by the Westin and enter to win your chance to catch pop flies and win great prizes. For complete details, visit www.westinpopupchallenge.com or call the good folks over at the Westin at 621-2000. Area code 314-621-2000. And Dan Kaplan and his staff would be happy to help you out.
And I think that's one of those questions that will be determined in the final 3 weeks of the season.
But the numbers don't lie. As you said, 99 RBIs, close to 30 home runs a year ago, and consistently he's done that in his career. So that's a heck of a bat you could have coming off your bench.
When he's healthy, he's always put up very good numbers. But there again, there's the $64,000 question: is he healthy? As he's trying to come, get his batting eye back, and that's not easy either.
And your timing and everything that goes with it. And a ground ball hit to short. Escobar up with it and throws. Cardinals go quietly here in the top of the 6th. Dave Bush leads it off when we return. Let's check out the Cardinals game recap presented by Infinity. And Chris Carpenter has struck out 7 here this afternoon. He's allowed just 1 base hit. The Cardinals have out hit the Brewers 6-1, and they lead it 2-0. It was back in the 5th inning. Albert Pujols with a 2-run double. Now 120 driven in. I believe we saw that individual in St. Louis just a week ago. Brewers fan that made the trek to Busch Stadium and now back home here in Milwaukee.
Looking for a presidential candidate.
Now last year he had a sign, or was it earlier this year, that nominated you for president?
Yeah, that's why I said he's looking for a new one.
Apparently he is a restaurateur that is down on the water, and you had to make a visit to see Mr. Fitz, huh?
No, I didn't do it last trip to sign his poster, but maybe this trip.
No balls and 2 strikes on Bush, and strikeout number 8 for Carpenter.
So obviously the guys in the truck showing that gentleman, so frequent visitors to his watering hole down by the water.
Second time through the lineup, and Carpenter strikes out 5 of the 9. So here we go, top of the lineup, 3rd time through, and there's Corey Patterson. Patterson 0 for 2. He's grounded back to Carpenter and also struck out. Catalanato on deck. 2 balls, no strikes. Phillies leading the Astros in the top of the 5th. 3-2. A lot of day baseball around the major leagues today. Corey Patterson, who we saw with the Chicago Cubs for quite a while.
He was just purchased on Friday from Nashville. He played there for 29 games, hit very well. But he was released or played 5 games with Milwaukee. He was 2 for 15, then was released, signed by Milwaukee. Fastball in.
Pitch in 96 from Carpenter on our gun. 3-2.
Pitch in.
Patterson. Shallow left. Holiday going in, and out is Brendan Ryan to make the catch. Good play.
Nice play right there. And just once again, if you're the infielder, you little pop up like that, you know it might be troublesome where your left fielder's playing. You go back until you're called off. And if you don't hear your name being called off, you complete the play.
Catalanano is 0 for 2. Flied out to center and grounded to first. His career primarily in the American League.
Renato played for Italy in the World Baseball Classic. And the Cardinals apparently denied Matt Pagnazzi permission to play for Italy in the World Cup coming up. And so we kind of feel that Matt Pagnazzi, Tom Pagnazzi's cousin, will be added to the Cardinals roster when Memphis is complete.
Ranging to his right. Pujols. Carpenter beats him to the bag. Brewers go in order, and Carpenter is through 6 and allowed just 1 base hit. He has struck out 8. Very sharp again this afternoon. It's our What's on Tap presented by Bud Light. The difference is drinkability. Bud Light. Always a treat to watch John Smoltz, and he'll go for the Cardinals tomorrow. Our pregame show at 6:30 with Jim Hayes. Pat Pierce is here on the road with us. So Jim Hayes back home and doing his normal outstanding job. Off the glove of the third baseman possibly, and extra bases here for Brendan Ryan. And Brendan will stop at second base. So a leadoff double, and he's already scored a run today too.
I like the way he ran those bases. He had the play in front of him down in the left field corner and didn't take anything for granted. He was going to go to third if he got the opportunity. As down the corner, Catalanano digs it out, and the Cardinals got a good opportunity here. Big part of the scoring in the 5th inning was the sacrifice by Carpenter, and he'll get a chance to do it again.
Runner at second base, nobody out. Talked about chemistry earlier. I think the team gets a kick out of Brendan Ryan on and off the field.
Yes, and they're enjoying him a lot more since he's hit near 300.
That helps, huh?
Well, it does. I mean, Brendan always kind of seemed like he would do something to, break the monotony or kind of take pressure off. But
he would test the patience of the veterans.
Yeah, but now that he's playing such great defense and hitting near 300, really being a contributor, now you say, oh, he's a real vital part of your ball club and takes a lot of pressure off. He brings energy to the team.
Yes, he does.
And we love it.
Oh, yeah. And Carpenter upset with himself. That's strike 2.
See, Prince Fielder is about 5 feet away.
And I was about to say, with him doing that, Al, I get the feeling that he would test it and try to go to third.
Well, I would think that before you had 2 strikes, you might make a little fake swing and throw the bat that way. Just accidentally slip out of your hands.
Showing bunt again. Here's the 0-2. And Carpenter strikes out. Back to the top of the lineup. Schumacher singled and scored on the double by Pujols in the 5th. Is grounded out to the first baseman and also flied out to right.
Carpenter doesn't do his job, and they say with proper technique the easiest pitch to bunt is a breaking ball. But you got to have that little flexibility in your, not only in your stance but in your hands, and have the proper bat angle.
.267 hitter with runners in scoring position. Pulls it foul.
Activity for the first time in the Brewers bullpen.
Dave Bush much more effective this start as he was back on the second. And warming up for them is Mark DeFelice.
We kind of noted in St. Louis that he's kind of been overexposed. You know, it was a real reliable reliever for Milwaukee, but kind of tiring out a bit.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
And those starters just not going deep, and he's been used a bunch. He throws that cutter just about every pitch. Doesn't throw overly hard. 0-1 pitch to Schumacher. Here it comes. Fouled back. Good cut.
Good cut is right. But you think about when a guy that throws so many cutters and doesn't throw hard and relies on your command, you get a little tired, you don't spot the ball the way you want it. You know,
Cuts back into the strike zone.
Much more hittable, and
Sure.
just don't get it in the location.
We saw him in the beginning of the year when they first came through St. Louis. They had the month of May. They were 18-10 and playing good baseball, and he was a big reason why, as a reliable setup man for Ken Maka to get to Trevor Hoffman. Brandon Ryan stealing, and no throw. He steals the bag as Schumacher strikes out.
Little things like that kind of excite you too about Brendan Ryan, his 10th steal this season.
And it's up to Ricky Ankiel with 2 outs. Two outs, runner at third. Ankiel, first pitch taken up and in. You don't normally see Schumacher take a called strike like that, and I wonder if he was a little bit distracted by Brendan, but that's part of the game.
It's definitely part of the game, and what does that have to do with watching the release point?
2 balls, no strikes. Pujols on deck. The Cardinals got their 2 runs with 2 outs back in the 5th. Trying to add to it with 2 outs here in the 7th.
Some way bring up Albert, and let's see what they do then. As you know, they're always thinking about, and it's 3-0, so Kendall's going to just remind Bush, you go, hey, one, if you want to stay in this game, I recommend throwing a strike. And if maybe you want to see DeFelice pitch to Pujols, just remember that your run's out there.
A 3-0 to Ankiel. Swinging away and hits it a mile high into right field on 3-0. And the catch made by Garrett. Time to stretch on this Labor Day. Baseball today on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by AT&T. Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. And the new 3rd Pound Angus burgers are here. Try one for yourself today, only at McDonald's. Folks here in Milwaukee, they know how to grill and tailgate.
Carpenter knows how to pitch.
He's done so quite well this afternoon.
Leonard, Kristen, and Brian Chamino are here watching the game, and they want to send big wishes to their mom, Donna Chamino, watching on MLB TV in Wadsworth, Illinois. It's just south of the Wisconsin border. She's a big Cardinals fan, grew up in Germantown, Illinois, and now she's surrounded by Cubs Nation. She's having the last laugh this year, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. Very disappointing year for not only the Brewers, but the Cubs had high expectations. And one of the reasons the Cardinals find themselves in this position this year, Al, no doubt about it, the health and the pitching of Chris Carpenter.
When he is healthy, Cardinals win and go to postseason. When he's not, they stay home in October. But he is on, dealing again, looking for win number 16. He's gone through 6 innings. He only allowed 1 hit and 1 walk, and he struck out 8. So he's been dominant in this game, but still a lot of game left. Chicago did beat Pittsburgh, so they postponed the inevitable for 1 day. Now they're the all-time losers in American sports as they've lost 17 consecutive seasons.
Well, Carpenter, and you got to have this guy contributing all the time, which he does, and that's Albert Pujols. And this is our Hardy's prime cut of the game. A rocket to center field with 2 outs, as Ken Maka had the decision as to whether or not to pitch to Pujols with first base open. He pitched to him, and he got burned.
This game stays as it is. It'll be his 3rd consecutive winning hit. Got 2 in the 2 wins in Pittsburgh, and got the game winner right now. But
Lopez back to Carpenter, and he's got it.
how many times have you heard me say, Dan, that sometimes a pitcher will see a ball come back at him and can't react to it, and other times you don't see it and you do catch it? This may be one of those cases. It barely gets a glove up there, and then he's looking, reacting to everything else, and it's in his hand.
You love telling this story about you and I a few years ago. McGuire at the plate, and I said, boy, can you imagine being that, and Molina now to visit with Carpenter and let him catch his breath. Can you imagine being that 3rd baseman when Mark McGuire's in the box and you said, wait a minute, what about us, the pitchers?
Yeah, the pitcher, I said, by the time he releases that ball, he's, he's 55, 54 feet away, and he's charging that line drive.
Right.
Forget about the 3rd baseman. And there are some pitchers, and I was one, that did not wear a cup.
Ouch. I don't want to think about it.
And there's a few pitchers that have paid the price for not wearing one. Thank goodness I was not one.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's the breaking ball now. Fielder 0 for 2 today. He's grounded out to first and struck out. First time up with the cutter. Second time he got him with a curveball, and he started this time out with a fastball.
Well, that's the thing. Carpenter just keeps on mixing his pitches. You don't really know what's coming. Oh, look at that one.
Wow.
Breaking ball bouncing up there, and he's talking about pulling your head out and swinging for the fences. Thank you.
Strikeout number 9 for Carpenter.
Look at where his head is. The ball bounces up there. But if he would have hit it, it would have gone a long way.
Yes. Vlad Guerrero has made a career out of being a bad ball hitter, and even a guy that when it bounces to the plate, he'll pick it off the ground and still hit it.
Sure, and get base hits that way, but
2 outs, and McGee.
That's where you kind of, you ask Carpenter and you say, okay, what do you think about what Fielder in Milwaukee did last night after the walk-off home run? And then you just ask Carpenter, did you have a little extra incentive pitching against him today?
I think if you asked a lot of major leaguers, it frustrates them when they see the Brewers do the untucking, those kind of things. And Carpenter in many ways is old school too. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Tails back in there for a strike, and Carpenter is still under 80 pitches. Curveball, and see you later. He is sharp today. 10 strikeouts for Chris Carpenter. Only 1 hit allowed. That was the double by Jody Garrett back in the 5th inning. He's tossing a gem here this afternoon. It'll be Pujols, Holiday, and Ludwig coming up. 10 strikeouts for Chris Carpenter. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. 2-0 Redbirds. And we move to the top of the 8th. Chris Carpenter tossing a 1-hitter. Cardinals about hit the Brewers 7-1. And a new pitcher in. It's Mark DeFelice in our Chevrolet call to the bullpen. Welcome to the game. You get Albert Pujols.
Oh, you're just lucky.
Numbers on DeFelice, his 57th appearance. 4-1 record.
And you can still see a good ERA, but just looked like he was tiring a bit when we saw him in St. Louis. That pitch didn't look like it was tiring as he got good location on it. Down the way, slider, cutter, whatever you want to talk about.
0-1 pitch to Albert. Now 0-2. It's Pujols here, Holiday on deck, and we'll see Ryan Ludwig. Pujols chasing in that batting average category. Hanley Ramirez along with the rest of the league. And Hanley Ramirez of Florida hit a home run yesterday. He's now the fourth fastest to 100 home runs by shortstop. A-Rod, Nomar Garciaparra, Ernie Banks, and now Hanley Ramirez.
Was it Ichiro got his 2,000 base hit? I think he was the second fastest to 2,000.
0-2 pitch.
And he even touched on it. He goes, you know, it's starting to mean something to me. And as he reflected back on his very first spring training, when people doubted his ability, and we talked to Lou Piniella, you know, in one of those games right before the season, we did an exhibition game with Seattle, and he wasn't sure about Ichiro. You know, he said he was getting ready to set up hitters, and you know, of course, he had no reason to believe it, but he has been more than what was advertised. He's been outstanding.
Yep. 2-2. Pujols this afternoon, the RBI double back in the fifth to account for the 2 runs. 120 RBIs. He's also singled and flied to right. Albert drills it out to deep right center field. And this ball is off the base of the wall. Pujols digging for second base. Throw comes in and not in time. He's safe. Hand on the bag, and he calls time. Albert with his second double this afternoon.
And you know, we didn't talk about it the last time he got the double. Then he went into sole possession at third place in the Cardinals all-time doubles list as he passes Ducky Medwick. But 3-2 pitch. There's that slider. It's up out over the plate. And Albert is batting .440 in the month of September. 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. He just rifles that ball. Tony hoping it's going to be an extra run. And it's just a double.
Tony's not one to show a lot of emotion in that dugout. Even when Pujols had that famous home run against Brad Lidge in the championship series, there was a shot of the dugout, and all the players, the coaches, they're all going crazy. And the one shot that really stood out to me was, you know, Tony's basically a non-reaction to it. And it was almost, you could just see him now starting to play the game in his mind. What happens next? Where am I going?
That's what I was going to say, that in my mind is like he's out there computing all the things, the possibilities, playing out the string or the rest of the game. And it's usually a very it's a strong statement about how managers have to act in that club, in that dugout. They don't want to show too much expression and be disrespectful.
Holiday, a base hit into right field. Pujols being waved in. Throw from right, cut off, and Holiday has an RBI base hit. Now 39 driven in with St. Louis to make it 3-0 Cardinals.
93rd overall, and as you said, 39th RBI with the Cardinals for Holiday. And we give an extra insurance run, 3-0 lead for Carpenter. And remember, this is also a day where you may not have you know, Franklin or your 2 reliable left-handed relievers. There's Tony trying to give them, and in Franklin's case, at least 2 days off.
Holiday fake going to second, and a swung on the pitch missed by Ryan Ludwig. Ludwig today has struck out looking. He's grounded out to short and also popped out to Kendall.
You're thinking about Tony La Russa, probably the biggest expression we ever saw for him. Let's see if this brings back memories to you. Is when Ankiel came back up and in his first game hit that home run.
I think so.
As a position player, that maybe was the first time that he ever let his guard down.
Had one other one, which was Chris Duncan's home run final day at the Old Busch Stadium, and he let his guard down and was smiling and clapping, and you could see that he was really excited.
Okay, I didn't see that one because it was part of the ceremony afterwards.
That's right.
So that was another time as both those individuals meant an awful lot to him personally, and still do.
One ball and 2 strikes. And a strikeout of Ludwig. We should tell the fans that we have seen him smile.
Yes.
He does smile even away from the ballpark.
More times away.
Yes. So strikeout of Ludwig for the first out here in the 8th. And it brings in third baseman Troy Gloss, who made a fine play to save a run. Back in the 5th inning off the bat of Jason Kendall. At the plate today, he's 1 for 2. Single, a ground out, and he's flied out to center. Now, you talked about it, how you have a situation here with Carpenter. Hasn't pitched in 2 years. You really want to keep him fresh for the postseason. He is at 80 pitches right now, but as you mentioned, the problem that you have if you're Tony La Russa, who is available out there in that bullpen, and he would tell you, well, basically everybody is, but we're looking to get days off for guys. So then it becomes, how much deeper do you go in this game with Carpenter?
Well, I think the scenario today and the rest of the series is a little different. Especially today, I think you're going to push Carpenter because, one, he is not laboring at all. His pitch count is down.
Here's a base hit, little inside out swing for Troy Gloss.
The best thing you can do for Tony's mindset is to get a bunch of runs and feel like you can turn it over the bullpen. But Carpenter right now, and then after this series, they're going to be even more protective of the starters. Get the work in, stretch them out, but don't push them. And then because of the built-in off days, and then you have the luxury of Loesch coming back. You can go to almost like a 6-man rotation or something, or do your 5 and have the off days to where everybody will continue to pitch, but should be rested going into postseason.
Fly ball into right. Catch made. Runner Holiday at second, tagging up to third, and the ball scoots away, but Gloss staying put at first. So first and third with 2 down. And the batter will be the shortstop, Brendan Ryan. Cardinals, if they wanted to, could have had a situation where you sacrificed in that spot.
And I think in the fact that Molina is a guy that you feel like he can drive the ball, get you a run. Tony's mind, he feels like he's a guy that is most capable as Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, is out to talk. You got Carpenter on deck, and you've got Brendan Ryan, so nobody warming up to the Cardinals, so it really shouldn't be a big discussion.
And maybe another facet of that, Al, is it's Molina running too, so you could run yourself into a potential double play if the bunt isn't perfect.
Sure.
So Brendan Ryan, Cardinals by starting shortstop. Look at that, 50 and 27. And the opponent's runs per game, as his defense has really been a plus for the Cardinals this year.
Well, that's such a variance that you can't ignore that.
No.
And his defense has been that good, and he's hitting .290. He's driven in 30 runs. The second half, he's been very productive off, from an RBI standpoint. He still at times has gotten a little bit of a free swinger and has swung wildly, whether that ball reaching for balls away from him, whether up or down.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Brendan Ryan. Strike 2, Carpenter on deck.
kind of talking about this guy throws a lot of sliders and cutters, you know, so almost want to shoot for the up the middle to the opposite field, and yet Brendan on the first 2 swings pulling off those pitches. Keep that front shoulder, don't let it fly open.
Up the middle on an 0-2 pitch, and a force play nicely done by the second baseman Felipe Lopez. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser Select. Full flavor, 99 calories, the exception to the rule. And by Bank of America. Cardinals banking only at Bank of America. Cardinal fans here in Milwaukee. Sunshine and beautiful weather. And the Cardinals lead it by the score of 3-0 as Carpenter is tossing a one-hitter. And a one-base hit legitimate with a double by this man, Jody Garrett. 1 for 2. And time called. Jody Garrett, Jason Kendall, and then the shortstop, Escobar. Carpenter has struck out 10 in the first 7 innings. There's the curveball, little hanger, and knocked down by Pujols. Carpenter to the bag, and they got him. Good play by Albert to stay with it. So and Carpenter, hope he's all right.
And looked like May got spiked a little bit, but appears to be okay. Albert knocks it down, and May feeds him. Got the front part of the bag, so right on the running lane for Garrett, and they're out to check on him.
Three times he was All-State in hockey, so you know this guy's tough. Pitch count at 82. Big fan of the Blues is Chris Carpenter, as he spends now his off seasons, most of it in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You'll see him at a bunch of games.
And I see him at the Schnucks.
You see him at Schnucks. I see him down at Savas Center, or Scott Trade Center, I should say. It's taken low. 2 balls and no strikes.
And a few changes to the name of the building the Blues have played in. Right.
Oh, Checker Dome. Right. Heel. Savas, Scott Trade.
What was it originally named? Before the Checker Dome, it was just the dome.
The arena, you know.
The arena.
12th career 10 strikeout game for Carpenter, 10 or more.
His career high is in strikeouts is 13, and his lowest hit complete game was, we did that game in Toronto, or a one-hitter.
Remember that. He was very pumped up for that night. 3-2 going against his former team. Carpenter, those years there learning from the veterans, and now he's one of the veterans that they learn. The young guys learn from him.
Let's pass it on.
Ground ball, Brendan Ryan deep in the hole. Fires over to Albert Pujols. You know, we watch Brendan Ryan now, and we always thought he was a nice defensive player, but now that he's getting a chance to play every day, and he told me it goes back to earlier this year in the Atlanta series when he was just unbelievable on some of those plays at short, second. He was playing both spots in that series. Finally felt comfortable. And he's just been unbelievable.
There's no doubt that he has surpassed our thinking in his defensive play, and in my mind he's the best defensive shortstop in the league right now.
He wants it. It'll be Schumacher making the catch on the run. 9th inning coming up.
going to the ninth there at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Coming up immediately after the game, of course, it is U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live. It's Jim Hayes, Rick Horton, and Jack Clark. And on the show today, Rick and Jack are going to relive the 80s. We'll have the Warren Carp's Killer K's, and they're going to show you how they spent their Labor Day holiday back in St. Louis. We're talking about the crew of Fox Sports Midwest pre- and post-game shows. And let me just put it this way. A little barbecue grilling going on, and we weren't part of it, guys.
No surprise. Is it, Al?
No.
No surprise.
Never think about us that we have to work or they barbecue.
That's what we call this?
Don't you remember it's contract time? Yes, it's work. Very hard. Enjoyed the weekend with Ricky, but I'm glad you're back, partner.
Oh, I appreciate that, Al. And Ricky will be on the post-game show. I did a close football game. It was 49-3. Chris Narveson is the new pitcher, the former Cardinal. And that's foul tip. Nothing in 2. So if Carpenter holds on, Al, he would go to 16-3. His ERA at the start of play, 2.28.
Which was the best in the National League, so it helped his chances for the Cy Young Award. You know, he is such a warrior. And, you know, he's such a perfectionist, but he's been upset the last inning with our home plate umpire. Thought he missed a couple pitches on the mound, didn't like the first strike that was called to him. I mean, this is when you're, you know, in the ninth inning with a 3-0 game, that home plate umpire is your best friend. Right. You know, I mean, just go up there and say, hey, you're doing a great job. You know, I really like how you've worked with me. You know, you've really helped me a game out. Don't be making enemies of him now.
It's off at Kendall.
And don't you get the feeling that here in a 3-0 game that, you know, one swing of the bat could take that game away from you, that sure victory. But it seems like it's about 10-0. And it really is 10-1 in hits.
2-2 pitch. And a called third strike. Don't say anything, Chris. So he would be one back of Wainwright for the lead in wins in the National League. He'd lower his ERA. And if he can complete this game, it would be, I believe, his second of the season.
Third.
Third, okay.
Third complete game, which speaks well.
Top winning percentage in the league.
Yeah. His strikeouts is up to 129.
You think about his winning streak here, too.
11 games. Because of the winning streak, I think with the injury he had earlier, which took what, 4 or 5, maybe 5 or 6 starts away from him. You know, I think it works to your advantage. You know, his innings get up there to about 166.
We made the point the other day that Tim Lincecum will be pitching in really meaningful games down the stretch to try to get his team into postseason play. Where you have Carpenter pitching games right now where the Cardinals are blowing away the rest of the Central Division. And you get the feeling that the people that vote on the award will be taking a look at, from a national perspective, you know, those meaningful games in Lincecum. And he's he won it last year. He's done great things again this year. And Wainwright and Carpenter could split the vote with the Cardinals.
Well, I think that you know, all those things are correct, and it works for Lincecum's favor if he wins.
There's a base hit into right for Ricky Anquillo. That's the big if. He did not pick up a win his last time out.
And that's where, you know, if he wins those games down the stretch in meaningful games, like you can't compete with that. Right. His strikeouts, you know, he leads the league and no one's going to catch him there.
So 2 outs and one final time for Pujols. has 2 RBIs today. Only one other Cardinals pitcher in the history of the franchise has had a winning streak of at least 10 games. Bob Gibson did it 3 different times. And back in '68, he won 15 straight.
1970, I know he had a 10-game winning streak.
And '72, he had an 11-game. Two balls, no strikes. And a win today would give Carpenter his highest win total of his career, with the exception of '05.
And what did he do in '05?
And that was the Cy Young year, and 21-5 that season. In fact, he's won 15 every season he's been in St. Louis and made at least 20 starts.
Yeah, when he's made 20 starts, he's won at least 15 games. Best winning percentage all time for any Cardinal pitcher with more than 100 decisions.
The 3-1 to Albert. Cranks it down the left field line. Deep enough. It's pulled, and it is foul.
There's a lot of little things when you look at Lincecum. He's second to Carpenter in earned run average. He leads in innings pitched, leads in strikeouts, leads in complete games. But Carpenter's right there in the mix, and Wainwright's got a few things with him.
Walk to Pujols, brings in Holiday. It was last year the Brewers made the push for the postseason. This year it's been the Cardinals, and 2 teams heading in different directions. Much of that to do with big number 15 here, Matt Holiday. Two outs and 2 on. Cardinals have out hit the Brewers 11-1. They lead it 3-0. Holiday with an RBI his last time up, now with 39 with the Cardinals.
Fazio out to talk to his young pitcher. Harbison, the former Cardinal farmhand, is involved in the Larry Walker deal, right?
That's right. The Cardinals started play with an 11.5 game lead over Chicago, now at 11. Cubs winning today as they beat Pittsburgh, which assured Pittsburgh of a losing campaign. Out west, it's the Dodgers by 3.5 in front of Colorado and 5.5 in front of the Giants.
Dodgers have a 3-0 lead early, and the Giants are just on their way in a tie score.
And Colorado leads in the wild card race by
2, right?
Yep, 2 over San Francisco. The Giants in a short series, you'd really get worried about Lincecum and Kane. The pitch taken in, 2 balls and no strikes. National League East, it's the Phillies by 6.5 in front of Florida. Atlanta 8.5 games out.
It's going to be an interesting homestand for the Cardinals, with the Braves, Florida, and then the Cubs come in town.
Really can have quite a say in the wild card.
That's exactly right. And you still have a series in Colorado. Milwaukee still makes an appearance the final weekend of the season at home. You looked at the beginning of the season, you didn't like the fact you played Milwaukee so many times in September.
Cardinals in the final week of the season will have Colorado for 3 games, and at that point should have everything wrapped up, and those are meaningful games. But you're also in a situation you try to play the season out and play those games fairly for the other teams that are in the race, trying to catch Colorado and beat them. A swing and a miss by Holiday after he was ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Carpenter tries to finish it off when we come back. Cardinals have out-hit Milwaukee 11-1. They lead it 3-0 here in the 9th inning. Carpenter trying to finish off this gem. He's our player of the game, presented by Budweiser. 10 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed. That was back in the 5th, and 8 strong innings of work. Mention how these two teams have gone in different directions since July 27th. Cardinals 28-9 and Milwaukee 17-21. In early July, Milwaukee had the lead in the Central.
That's right. And they're currently 4 games under 500. They've been since July 27th, and Carpenter's trying to make it 500.
Here's Counsell on the first pitch, swinging. Pitch count is under 100 for Carpenter at 91 total pitches.
93-mile-an-hour fastball, so still plenty left in the tank, and the weapon Carpenter is makes Stoney's job easy when he sits there and a little short at the back end of your bullpen. I'll take care of that.
1 ball, 1 strike.
And these Milwaukee club with a lot of firepower, and they don't score 4 runs or more, they usually lose.
They've had the kind of firepower that can give them big innings. They've had 21 games in which they've had innings in which they've scored 5 or more runs. But today they have been shut down. One-two pitch.
This game goes a few more minutes. It's going to be pitcher in the shade, and then right in front of the home plate, you come right back into the sunlight. That can't be easy.
3-2. Carpenter has only walked 1 today. That was back in the 1st inning. Felipe Lopez.
Also pitch hitting years, and a .357 hitter in the pinch. Earlier this year, you know, Carpenter only allowed 2 hits, and the first one was off the bat of Counsell in the 7th inning.
And Carpenter can't believe he didn't get the call. And Molina having a word also with the home plate umpire. Only hit allowed, and it was a clean base hit back in the 5th inning. Jody Garrett slicing a double down the left field line.
Well, this is what we talked about, you know, Dan, is, you know, make that umpire your best friend. Don't start, you know, last inning got upset when he was on the mound and at the plate with the home plate umpire. And not saying that Dan Iosona is changed his strike zone or anything, but don't give him any reason to have borderline pitchers go the other way.
Reyes and McClellan getting loose. You could see Carpenter trying to plead his case. It looked like out to Molina, and then Molina to plead his case to the umpire when he got back there. There is a dangerous bat lurking for the Brewers. Ryan Braun.
He's 0 for 6 against Carpenter with a couple strikeouts.
1-0 pitch to Patterson. Could be 2. Brendan Ryan steps on the bag. Double play. He was positioned perfectly.
And that really wasn't that easy, as it looked like that ball came up on him, but made it look so easy with the soft hands. 1 step from the bag, then you complete the next step on the bag. See how that ball came up, and then took his time to throw out Patterson. The positioning was where it all starts, up the middle. Ball hit hard, and he makes the play.
Here's a ground ball. Schumacher there to first. What a gem by Carpenter today. 3-0 and a 1-hit shutout for the ace of the Cardinals.
Outstanding game, and 28th complete game, his 3rd complete game this season. And what a masterful performance. Clutch hitting by Albert and company, and the Cardinals knock another one off the magic number.
Carpenter 16-3. One-hit shutout of the Milwaukee Brewers this afternoon. Post-game show coming up.
A one-hit shutout for Chris Carpenter. Cardinals beat the Brewers 3-0. Rick Horton and Jack Clark are both here to break this one down. Jack, after yesterday's win, the Brewers fell over in celebration. Today, Carpenter knocked them down.
Well, they never got up because he was just awesome today. So, you know, Cy Young Award winner, he looked like it out there today.
And it really was vintage Chris Carpenter as well. He had low pitch count despite getting a bunch of strikeouts. I don't know how he does it, but he certainly is one of those guys I would say is a leading candidate now for the Cy Young.
More from those guys coming up. Plus, it's Labor Day, and what better way to celebrate the holiday than by reliving the 80s. We'll be taking your questions for Rick and Jack, plus Chris Carpenter working hard this Labor Day. We'll break down his outstanding day and compare him to an 80s ace. We'll take you back to Milwaukee for player reaction and Tony La Russa's post-game thoughts, plus how the Cardinals Live team spent the holiday weekend. Put that burger down and turn up the volume. U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live is coming up, and it's coming up next.
Welcome to U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live.
Here's a ground ball. Schumacher there to first. What a gem by Carpenter today. 3-0 and a one-hit shutout for the ace of the Cardinals.
A gem indeed. Third complete game for Chris Carpenter this season, 28th of his career, his 12th career 10 strikeout game, a one-hitter. Cardinals win this one 3-0. Big win for the Cardinals. Big step forward for Chris Carpenter in the Cy Young chase. He improves to 16-3. And with the win by the Cardinals, the magic number now stands at 14. That number is shrinking. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside our Fox Sports Midwest studios in St. Louis for this Labor Day edition of U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live, alongside Ricky Horton and Jack Clark. I'm Jim Hayes. Coming up, we'll get you back to Milwaukee for player reaction and Tony La Russa's post-game comments, plus breaking down Chris Carpenter's Labor Day afternoon and a photo essay on how we spent our holiday weekend. Before we get to all that, Jack, let's get some thoughts on what we just saw Chris Carpenter do.
Well, you know, every time he's been going out there, I've been feeling like he's going to throw a no-hitter every time. That's the feeling I get every time, because that's his presence when he gets out there. He looks like when he takes that baseball, like nobody can hit him. It's his day, and today he was awful close. And you know, but every day that team that has to face him really has no chance, because they have no answer for anything he brings to the party. So, you know, he's just fun to watch. When he's on your side of the team, they didn't have to get him 3 runs. They get him 1 run. It was all over with today.
He's also a great guy to have after a tough loss in Pittsburgh. Any questions about the Cardinals having difficulty rebounding after that tough loss were answered when you just decided that Chris Carpenter's pitching today, because he's just that good.
It's nice having both you guys here. And don't forget,
Nice to be
Cardinal
with you.
fans, we would also like to hear from you. We'll be taking your texts for Rick and Jack about the 80s all day long. Text us, 432-432. Please include your first name and where you're texting from in your message. Standard text messaging rates do apply. For now, we head back to the field at Miller Park. A short time ago, Pat Paris catching up with today's winning pitcher, Chris Carpenter, our Mid-America Chevrolet Dealers Player of the Game. Pat?
All right, Jim, thank you very much. And with Chris Carpenter, outstanding effort today. You must have really felt good from the start. You looked like you got even stronger as the game went.
Yeah, you know, it was a good game. You know, I had a good game plan going in, like we always do, and I was able to execute pitches. The ball was coming out good. I got the ball in the corner of the plate, and my off-speed stuff was good. And, you know, like I said, I was just able to execute.
This was the same team you faced last outing. You didn't have nearly the success. What was the difference, and how tough is it to face them back-to-back?
Well, my command was better. No question about it. The last time, 5 days ago, my command with my fastball wasn't very good, and that makes it pretty difficult. But my command of my fastball was good. I was getting ahead of the guys, and that makes my breaking stuff and off-speed stuff that much better.
Yeah, nice play by Troy Gloss, and you had a nice play by Brendan Ryan there in the 9th on double play.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was a well played all the way around. Troy made a great play there. Brendan obviously turned a great double play there at the end. I mean, you can continue. Hank caught that ball in center early on. that Cardinals hit. That was a tough play too. I mean, it was just a good game all the way around. We scored runs, we got some hits, and I was able to pitch well enough to win.
And you guys are on an incredible roll. It must be nice to feel that you guys can continue that along with Wainwright and with Pinheiro. You guys are at an unbelievable record.
Yeah, you know, we continue to go out there every time and take nothing for granted, and that's what's nice. We got a nice group of guys here that enjoy going out there and competing, enjoy what their task is, and that's to go out and get outs, and it's been nice for a long time now.
Congratulations, great job.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Chris Carpenter. Jim, back to you.
Guys, thanks a lot. Now it's time for a view from the booth. Dan McLaughlin and Al Raboski rejoin us from Milwaukee to put a wrap on this one. Gentlemen.
Okay, Jim, thanks. It's now 17 innings for Carpenter. At this ballpark this year, he's only allowed 3 hits. He's walked 2, and that came in this game today. Unbelievable job, and I know the guys back in the studio are going to talk a lot about that, but the Cardinals, you know, when you think about it, Al, they had to have somebody pick them up offensively, and who else? Albert Pujols.
Well, Albert Pujols, in the 3 games we've won on this series, they have really done an outstanding job. Here, Ankiel, he has runners in scoring position, but he couldn't get the job done, so you have to pick him up. And they had a choice of walking Pujols. They didn't do it, and this was a laser shot. It also, that double that scores 2 runs puts Albert sole possession at 3rd place in the all-time double list. He just passed Ducky Medway.
And certainly one of the questions now that Ken Maka, I'm sure, has already been asked from the media is, why do you pitch to Pujols? Do you walk him? But either case, I think you could probably make an explanation for both.
Well, and you also gave the stats that Holiday against Milwaukee has been over 400 average,
right.
So that's in his career. It's not just this year.
All right, later in the show, we'll preview tomorrow night's starter. That's John Smoltz, and also take a look at the rest of the series. Jim, let's send it back to you.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Let's take a look at the highlights from this game. Carpenter looks sharp from the get-go. Corey Patterson goes down swinging in the 1st. Jason Kendall whiffs in the 2nd. In the 4th, Carr punches out Felipe Lopez and gets Prince Fielder to chase a pitch in the dirt. Carpenter keeps Milwaukee hitless after 4, no score. The offense gets going in the 5th. Skip Schumacher, a single to center. Brendan Ryan held up at 3rd, but Fielder isn't there to cut the ball off. Skip heads to 2nd on the mistake, which guarantees an Albert Pujols at bat. That was the first mistake. The second, as Dan referenced, choosing to pitch to Albert Pujols. He drills one to center field over the head of Patterson. Ryan and Schumacher both score on the double, making it 2-0 Pujols. 120 ribbies on the season. Bottom of the inning, 1 down, Jody Garrett at the dish, and he goes the other way off Carpenter. Drops for a double. That no-hitter is history, but more importantly, Carpenter has to get out of a jam. His defense would help him do that. Kendall hits one to 3rd. Troy Gloss, nice play. Nice to see Gloss back at 3rd. Next up, the rookie Escobar, and Carp will take care of him. 7th strikeout for Carpenter, still 2-0 Cards after 5. Same score in the 7th. More Carp. Fielder will chase a curveball in the dirt for the 2nd time. Casey McGee gets caught admiring Uncle Charlie. 10 strikeouts through 7 for Carpenter. 3rd time he's done that this year, 2nd time against the Brewers. Some insurance provided by Matt Holliday in the 8th inning. Good look at Carpenter. And here's Holliday. Just rips a base hit. Pujols heads home from 2nd, and he's going to beat the throw. Holliday's 93rd RBI makes it 3-0. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, and Carpenter looking to finish up his gem, and he coaxes the ground ball from Catalinato, and that would do it. The Cards win this one 3-0, a 1-hit shutout for Chris Carpenter, and a nice win for the Cardinals today by the final tally of 3-0, and the 12th shutout this season for Carpenter. And Pujols the big day, 3 for 4, a couple of doubles in this one. Ankiel a nice day. Gloss looking more and more comfortable as he returns to regular playing time as DeRosa sat out. But the story of the game was Chris Carpenter.
Well, you know, Chris Carpenter today just looked like when he's out there, he gets in that rhythm, and you have to probably, as an offensive player, you better back out and try to break up that rhythm. Not that it's going to work against Chris Carpenter, but you have to try everything you can, because what else are you going to do? I mean, he's got stuff, he's got pitches, he can spot his pitching, throw any pitches anytime at any count to anybody that's up there, and it's virtually you have no chance. So you can back out, try to do something to break up that rhythm. But when he's in that type of rhythm, You know what? I saw a picture today, and you could see Supan and the other guys and the other team sitting in their dugout admiring what this guy is doing out there, as we were and everybody else was in Cardinals Nation, because he's just the best in baseball.
Let's look at the strikeouts. 10 by Carpenter today, and it was almost like the Brewers had no chance to make contact.
Well, he had a great curveball today. I mean, his curveball was just outstanding, and he was getting them on fastballs as well, but his curveball was finishing guys off. There's a cutter in on a lefty, sinker down and in. Everything's moving. There's that curveball we talked about, and you get that many strikeouts. I love the way he carves up lefties, and he did it to one of the best hitters in the National League, leads in RBIs, and that's Prince Fielder. So Carpenter was just, I mean, he was just on his game today, no question about that. You had that sense early on that he kind of had no-hit stuff. He ends up giving up just one hit in the 5th inning, but really total command of this game. All he needed was a couple of runs.
Some food for thought brought to you by Jack in the Box. Just some career notes on Chris Carpenter, who, by the way, his ERA drops to 2.16 with a shutout today. 28th career complete game, 13th career complete game shutout, 12th career 10-plus K game, and 2nd career one-hitter. Chris Carpenter, outstanding. Just real quick, I mean, I don't know, we've talked to Carpenter about this. He faced some injury stuff early on in the season, and I said, in a sense, does that help you get stronger? Will you be stronger down the stretch? He's not sure it will, but he's awful strong right now.
But he's always strong. And I think part of his strength is not just what he is physically, Jack, but he's such a mentally strong guy. I mean, he's obviously got great talent, but there's something about between the ears of Chris Carpenter that I think sets him apart.
Well, we faced guys and had guys in our team, also John Tudor and those type of guys. They put Bob Force was another guy. They put their game face on, and he puts his on like nobody else I've ever seen. I mean, when you see guys in the big leagues, major league professional hitters, swinging and missing by this much, and it keeps getting bigger. You know, usually they're close and they're foul tipping it, or look like they're trying to get some kind of timing too. You don't get any kind of timing off Chris Carpenter. You know, he keeps you off balance the whole time. You never get a pattern off him. You never get anyway. Well, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna sit on this pitch and I'm putting my good A swing on it and do some damage. You just don't get it, and you're lucky if you flip one in there like they did today, and one ends up fair, and you go, yeah, if somebody got a hit, he didn't throw a no hitter.
It's a good day to show up at the park sick, isn't it?
How does
like Ryan Brown,
one day DL, right?
Yeah.
Right.
How does Chris Carpenter compare to an 80s ace? No, not Rick Horton. John Tudor. We're going to put those two together when we come back from break.
U.S. Cellular Cardinals Live is brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Believe in something better. And by Helitech. If your basement or crawl space leaks when it rains, heal your home with Helitech.
Let's flash back to 1985. 31-year-old John Tudor going 21-8 for the Cardinals with a 1.93 ERA. After starting the season 1-7, Tudor goes 20-1 with a remarkable 1.37 ERA from June on. Our Helitech King of the Hill? It's today's star, Chris Carpenter. Some comparison?
Well, you know, they both are tremendous gamers. You know, when they're out there on the mound before the game starts, you know they're going to keep you in the game and give you a chance to win. You know, completely different the type of stuff each one has. You know, Carpenter's got, you know, that big curveball and throws a little bit harder. Tudor, you know, basically was a two-pitch pitcher. He throw a fastball and a changeup, but it would just get hit the spots. But he'd only throw that curveball to a left-hander. So, you know, to think about a guy that only has two pitches and nobody could hit him, you know, he's pretty unbelievable. Now, he had a great defense behind him, too, with Ozzie and everybody else out there, but, you know, it was pretty much him by himself.
And both Tudor and Carpenter bringing the heat. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Here's a look what Tudor did after June 1st, 1985, and what Carpenter has done after June 1st this year.
And you mentioned that he started out 1-7, John Tudor. He actually ripped his uniform off his back in San Diego after a bad start when he was 1-7, and he set it on fire in the clubhouse, which I'm sure is not a smart thing to do, but he was just lights out after that. Another difference between Tudor and Mr. Carpenter is Tudor was a grouch. And Chris Carpenter is not. Would you agree with that, Jack? I mean, he still is a grouch. I love the guy, but he's a grouch.
Tudor did throw a one-hitter in 1985, that against the Cubs.
And I remember that game. The first pitch of that game, John Tudor, he actually came in from the bullpen and said, "I've got nothing today," which he said a lot, Jack. He said, "I've got nothing." He didn't throw very hard, as you mentioned. And he said, "You're going to have to get the bullpen going early, Whitey." That's what he said. Threw the first pitch off the backstop, and then he threw about 90 on the black right after that and one hit the Cubs.
Yeah, and he's just, he was always under 100 pitches, for the most part, every time he was out there. So the games are quick, they moved right along. So him and Carpenter, in that sense, are very much similar. They move the game along, they get the baseball, they're up on the mound. That's good for the defense. You like to see that. You like playing behind those guys. You know they're going to keep you in the game. You're going to get your at-bats and grab a couple hits and get out and go have a nice dinner somewhere.
Our Don Brown deal of the game looks at the last time Carp faced the Brewers on a holiday. It was Memorial Day earlier this year, and Carp, like today, electric. Takes a perfect game into the 7th inning, throws 8 innings of 2-hit shutout ball, striking out 10, not walking anybody in the Cardinals' 1-0 extra inning loss to the Brewers. And here's what Carp has done to Milwaukee on holidays this year. Is that a typo? That ERA is 0.
Pretty good.
It's 0. Total of hits? Well, I mean, what does he have? 3?
And the walks are low.
It's got to be a typo.
I mean, that's the other thing about him is he's a power pitcher that doesn't walk anybody, and I think that's unusual. A lot of power pitchers, they're gonna walk a few, 3 or 4 guys in the game. But as Jack said, the pitch count's still low for him. That, like Tudor, it's just amazing that he can do that.
What I like about what Carpenter's done this season is his last outing didn't have his best stuff, battled through it. Today he had his great stuff, and we see really no chance for Milwaukee.
That's a sign of a true professional that can do that, and that's what you're supposed to do at this level. This is the big leagues. And when you don't have your good stuff, like Ricky was saying, when Tudor didn't have his good stuff and said, I don't have nothing today, get that bullpen up early, and then ends up throwing a 1-hit shutout. I mean, that's what guys do at this level. They get themselves ready and prepared. They find a way, and usually they come out and do something better than they even think they can. But Carpenter, consistent, and you know what you're going to get. And the Brewers are in there, and they're taking their jerseys out, taking a shower today, though. They're not having any fun celebrating on the field.
Absolutely not. Usually when the opposing pitcher throws a good game, Tony La Russa says it's a cap tipper. Today, I hope he tips his cap to Carp. We'll find out next. Tony, speaking to the media.
To move the ball around and get the ball out of the middle of the plate, and I was able to do that today. We had a good plan going in. I was able to get ahead and keep them off balance. And anytime you do that, even against a good lineup, a good offensive team like these guys have, you have a chance to be successful. And we made some really nice defensive plays that, Troy made a great play there on that ball down the line. Brendan turning that double play early on. Hank catching that ball in center that Frank hit, who's given me trouble, his whole career. So I mean, we played nice all the way around, and it was a nice win.
On the one hit that the Brewers did have, a Carruth's double, did you make a mistake for what you wanted, or he just got?
No, it was just a good pitch. I was trying to get ahead. First pitch, strike down and away, and the ball got up a little bit, but it was out there, and he put a nice swing on it and down the corner.
How did today compare, aside from getting the win, to what you did here in the early in the year?
It was similar. I felt like, today I felt like my stuff was a little better. I felt like my fastball was a little better, but anytime, like I said, anytime you have a nice game plan and then you work within that game plan during the game and are able to throw your stuff for strikes and keep the ball out of the middle of the plate, you have a chance to be successful.
Franklin's down for a day or two, maybe the whole series. I mean, y'all are tight in a lot of ways out there. You go in there aware of that at all, or do you just kind of block that out?
I was sitting in there today, and I knew Frankie wasn't going to be pitching, but again, that's not my job. My job is to go out and go as long and as hard as I can until I come and take the ball, and then it's his decision to who's going to finish it if there's that need. And fortunately, I was able to attack the strike zone early, get ahead, and get some quick outs and keep my pitch count down to be able to finish the game.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's your first shutout in 3 years. I mean, is it a big deal to get that, to finish it off?
I like finishing any game. It doesn't matter if it's a shutout or not. That's really fun to go out there and start and then finish what you started. And that's your goal every time out.
The late movement you had on the ball today, I don't know if you consider that typical or not, but what was basically your dominant pitch today as far as you were concerned?
I felt like the whole thing revolved around being able to locate my fastball. I felt like I located my fastball pretty good all day and it had some nice movement on it. I've been fighting the last few times out mechanically of not getting out in front and getting the ball going downhill and more side-to-side type stuff. And today I was able to stay on top of the ball and get it going downhill, and it had some nice movement on it. And when you do that, you can pitch off your fastball. It makes all those other pitches that much better.
Second through the fourth inning, I think you threw 23 pitches, 20 of them were strikes. I mean, what does that say? Obviously, you're throwing strike one, but it seems like there's no real necessity to be getting deep in count, screwing around with guys. You're just basically attacking every pitch, it seems like.
That's my goal all the time. My goal, unless it's a certain situation late in the ball game or you have a chance to lose the game or change the game, I'm going to come after you. And I'm not wasting pitches. I'm not doing those things. I'm trying to get strike one, strike two, and strike three as fast as I can, or get you to put the ball in play and let my guys work behind you. And when you do that, they know you're aggressive. They know you're going to come firing after them. It puts them on the offensive. And they got to make a decision whether or not what they're gonna do, and that's when it gets fun, because then you can start mixing it up and moving around and stuff like that.
Never a question about what you're going to get from Chris Carpenter. He's all business, addressing the media, and on the hill as well.
I love him talking about the aggressiveness that he takes to the mound. I think he thinks of pitching as an offensive position, not a defensive one, and he's all about just attack, attack, attack. And if you're pitching and you're just kind of waiting for stuff to happen to you, to me, that's the wrong way to think. You learn that early on. It's an offensive position. You got the ball, and that hitter, even if he's Jack Clark, I'm going to go right at him.
Well, and that's well said.
Not me, but others would.
Well, it's just well said, and it's something to take for kids anywhere. Mm-hmm. When you're playing defense, you're not playing defensively, you're playing defensive offensively. You're out there trying to get the ball before it takes that bad hop. You're trying to hit the baseball on offense out in front. You're trying to get a release point when you pitch out in front. You're offensive. You're playing winning baseball. You're not losing. You're not negative. You're not thinking about negative thoughts. So he's just ultimate, a master at that. And also he's just got a lot of class, and he's top-notch guy in that clubhouse, and the league has a guy in baseball that they should be cherished, that they have him in major leagues.
Quite a lot of fun to watch Chris Carpenter. The thing, and I've said this before, my favorite thing is when someone dares get a base hit off him, he is angry. He looks at the batter with disdain when he's out on the hill.
Well, it shows, because they don't have any plan, any program for him. And usually, you hear him talking, you hear Chris talking there, and he's talking about, well, I had a good game plan when I went into the game, and I worked real hard, and I focused. I want to get hit 1, 2, 3. I want to make pitches or get them to hit ground balls to my teammate. He knows what he wants to do. The hitters do the same thing. They want to have a game plan. They study tapes. They have an idea what he tries to do, a first pitch fastball, or what he tries to do to get ahead, throw a cutter, or what he does in certain situations, certain scenarios, but they still can't hit him.
He's a nasty pitcher. U.S. Cellular text time. Let's see what the fans are saying about Chris Carpenter. This from Matt and Baldwin. Carp looked great. Cy Young for sure. That was Phyllis in Evansville. Tim Lincecum, who? That was from Matt and Baldwin. Carpenter was Tudor-esque, one-hitter sweet. That from Jordan in Chesterfield. Here's another Cardinal ace we're going to take a look at as
Watch
we go
him
to
attack
breaks.
the hitter.
How did we spend our Labor Day weekend? We're going to show you that next. Not that you care, not that you asked. Stay with us.